What's up? This is Jamie Josta from Hatebreed, and you're watching Tribal Area DVD Magazine. I mean, the reaction has just been amazing. I really didn't, because we had been gone for so long since Rise of Brutality, especially in the States, I mean, where we hadn't toured as much as we did in Europe. I was thinking that the record was going to take a little more time to sink in, but it's like people go way more crazy for the new stuff than they do everything else. So I think that's a really good sign. And whenever we get good reviews like that, it's very flattering. We feel very honored. But sometimes you think, okay, well, I hope the kids also like it, not just the critics. And for this record, it's probably our most well-received album, and it feels great. I just think that, as times change and as the world becomes, I think, a more violent, corrupted, fucked up place, I think people look to music as, escape from the everyday grind, from the weekly bullshit that everybody has to go through. And for me, as a kid and as a teenager and even as an adult, I still use music as an escape, whether it's an hour or two, or driving in my car or playing on a stage. It's almost therapeutic for me. So I just think a lot of other people get that. You come to a show and you forget about all your problems that you face in the outside world for like 2 hours, and it's like a really cleansing feeling. Yeah, there's always some naysayers when you achieve success beyond the small circle of the scene. But I think because our message has always been, the sky is the limit, I think that people actually looked at us as like the underdogs and wanted to build us up and wanted to push us through. Plus, I think, after a decade, we've never changed our message, we've never changed our sound. We've kept it extremely aggressive and extremely in your face and honest. It's just a vocal minority. It's not a lot of people. It's just a couple of people that are on the internet. And if you look at the shows, I mean, like tonight is sold out, over 1,500 people. The whole tour is pretty much sold out. And, it just shows that it's still growing and people do believe in it, and they know our causes and our feelings are genuine. I do, I really do. Because for me, I barely have an 8th grade education. I was living on my own when I was 13. I was never taught, how to get a checking account, how to, basic life skills. I had to learn from myself, from, being on the streets and being on my own and just having to find my own way. If there's any message that we're trying to deliver, if there's any so-called, education that we want people to walk away with, it's about finding your own way, and paving your own path. And, I think especially a lot of people who use our music as more than just entertainment, they read deeper into the lyrics and they derive their own inspiration from it. And I've gotten, thousands, literally thousands of letters, and I talk to kids every night outside the show, and it's good to see, because I think that I definitely walked away from a lot of shows having learned something about myself. And seeing Agnostic Front, seeing Killing Time, Sheer Terror, going and seeing Machine Head, Sepultura, Slayer, I always walked away feeling like I had learned something. One kid wrote me a letter who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and was losing function, and he was, had gone through so many hardships, and I thought, if this guy can use my lyrics as, inspiration in his life, I need to really start living by my lyrics and get back on track, and I have. You know what? It was very cool, I think, for my family, because it made my family, my grandparents and my father and my mother, it made them understand, and I think it legitimized our band to a certain extent for the Academy and for the whole Grammy committee to have recognized our effort, and to give us a nomination. It was a big deal, I think, for people who aren't involved in the hardcore and heavy metal scene. We've been surrounded by a lot of negative rumors and hearsay, and there's been a lot of bad stuff spread about us, I think, on the internet and stuff. So that was kind of like vindication in a way for people to say, you know what, this is a serious band. This is a band who have a positive message, and that's what I mean when I say like rumors and negative stuff. People have said things that just aren't true about us, as far as having a negative message or a hateful message or a message of dividing, and not being about what we are, which is about, individualism, but, also unity, and we sing about positive stuff. There isn't this, this evil, negative thing surrounding us. So I think that part of that Grammy nomination showed people that it was bigger than just music, and it's cool because, especially in our hometown, my barber, the guy that cuts my hair, heard about it and was like, wow, you're like a real deal, you're a real man. And so in that case it was cool, but for everybody else it's just a mention in the paper or a mention on the internet, but for us it was cool.